أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. Surah Hashr, ayah number 21. Another powerful ayah. Like ayah yesterday was powerful. نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُم. Now here look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Ayah number 21, Surah Al-Hashr. لَوْ أَنزَلْنَا, if we would have sent down هذا القرآن, this Quran, the one in your hand, على جبل, on a mountain, لرأيته, you would have seen it, the mountain, even the mountain, خاشعا, humbled, متصدعا, burst open, من خشية الله, from the fear of Allah. Okay? So, burst apart, like in the Quran, Allah says, وَالْأَرْضِ ذَاتِ الصَّدْعِ. Okay, I swear by the earth which is the possessor of the crack, the split, that the seed come out from it. And so that also means headache. You feel like your head is bursting. So, and khashi'an khushu, humble, out of the fear of Allah. وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ, and these are examples, نَضْرِبُهَا, we describe them, لِلنَّاسِ, for the people, لَعَلَّهُمْ, so that they يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, ponder. Okay? Ponder, think. Okay, so now look here. Why Allah revealed this ayah? Why Allah revealed this ayah? That to shame to the human being, that the mountain was going to burst open and humble if I would have revealed the Qur'an on it. And you listen to the Qur'an and nothing happened to you. So the scholar has written here, he say that is it possible that the human being burst open because of the Quran? So he say no. If it is not possible that the Quran, that any human being, even the Prophet, can burst open, so why Allah is giving why Allah is giving shame then? And Allah will never give shame to the la mahal, something you cannot do it. Why would Allah say that you should also burst open like mountain? So what he is saying, that the human being will not burst open because the tahammul in the human being is more than the mountain. The tolerance power of the human being is more than the mountain. So it will not burst open. So if Allah knows that the tolerance power of the human being is more, so why Allah is giving the example of the mountain? Allah is saying that if you cannot do inshiqaq and tasaddu', burst open, so what should you do? You should do at least ta'athur and khushu'. Okay? I give you more tolerance so that you will not burst open. I agree with you. I don't burst open. I don't expect that from you. But at least do what? At least cry. At least the hair should stand up on your skin. Ta'athur and khushu, you are mukallaf. At least that is in your control. If you would have understood the Quran and recited it properly and tried to make yourself affected from the Quran, so Quran would have made you cry. But you didn't. आप समझ गए इतनी बात? Now we go ahead. That how we know that the tahammul, the tolerance power of the human being is more than the mountain. So in Dalil he presented this ayah. إِنَّا عَرَضْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْجِبَالِ فَأَبَيْنَ أَن يَحْمِلْنَهَا وَأَشْفَقْنَ مِنْهَا وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ ظَلُومًا جَهُولًا. Okay, now look here. Allah say, I presented the amanat, the Quran, the Sharia, the halal haram concept. I presented it to the sky, to the earth, to the mountain. So they refused to load it on them. And they got scared of it. They couldn't. Okay, And insan, he loaded it on himself. Why? Insan is zaloom and jahul. Ab suno meri baat ko. Look, this ayah, if you don't listen to me, you will be confused. Now look, like for example, I present a task to all of you that we need to do this task in the masjid. And everybody refused. And one person, although it was a difficult task, he raised his hand. So that person should be admired and he should be condemned. He should be admired. So Allah said, you presented to the mountain and you presented it to the sky and the earth. They refused and they scared. And the human being loaded, so you should what? You should admire him. That look, everybody refused, but so why are you calling him Zaloom and Jahul? Ab samajh gaye meri baat? So the ulama say, there is a small point here. And the point is, Allah was looking at that kind of creation which has mutazat sifat, which get hungry, which get angry, which get stingy, okay, which can do zulm and which can do jahal. The mountain cannot do that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say the criteria to the human being was he was zaloom. What that mean? That he was adul. So that is why he can become zaloom also. And jahul, because he could become alim also. These two characteristics were not in the mountain. Okay? So look, the mountain Allah has given certain knowledge to the basic knowledge to everything, to the star, to the mountain. So there was some basic knowledge in the mountain. And there was some basic adal in the mountain. But what was lacking? There was no zulm. The mountain cannot do zulm. You understand what I'm saying? And there was some basic knowledge in the mountain, but there was no jahal. You understand what I'm saying? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, insan is zaloom and jahul. Why? Because he can become alim and adul also. Alim and adil also. Aap samajh gaye na meri baat? So the characteristic that I was looking for, that in spite of the attraction of the opposite thing, he still stay. So that was only in the human being. So zaloom and jahul here is not condemning. It is admiring here. That he has the quality to become what? Zaloom and jahul. Why? Because he can become adil and alim also. But mountain can become only alim and adil to certain extent. He cannot become zalim and jahil. Ab samajh gaye meri baat? So this is what the ulama explained. Otherwise it will be difficult for you to understand. Anyway, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, the mountain will have inshiqaq and tasaddu'. It will humble, it will burst open. Why human being? You didn't burst open. So, oh Allah, you give us more tahammul, more tolerance. That is why I couldn't. Okay, I agree with you, oh human being. At least you should take ta'athur and khushu if you cannot burst open. Ab samajh gaye meri baat? So now look at the ayah one more time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن, if we would have sent out this Qur'an على جبل, on a mountain, because of the lack of tahammul and the less tahammul and tolerance that the mountain has as compared to the human being, لرأيته, you would have seen that jabal خاشعا, humbled, متصدعا, burst open, split open, من خشية الله, from the fear of Allah. This is such a heavy kalam that which was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, even the she-camel will sit down and cannot take the tolerance of the ayat of the Qur'an. And one Sahabi say, the Prophet's head was on my thigh, and when the asar of wahi came, I felt like my thigh, when somebody is breaking it into two pieces. This is how heavy it used to be. And in cold winter, the Prophet used to start sweating. आप समझिए ना, मामूली कलाम नहीं है. من خشية الله. وتلك الأمثال, and these are examples, نضربها, we describe them. Remember, I told you before also that in Arabic there are two kinds of common plural. There are a lot of plural, but one plural is called Jam'a Salim and the other is called Jam'a Mukassar. Jam'a Salim is the one that the single remain intact in it. Like for example, look, Muslim, Muslimuna. So the single is intact in the plural. Okay? The word Muslim. And Jama Mukassar is the one that the single is broken. For example, Kitab. The plural is not Kitabuna. The plural is Kutubun. So you see, Kitab is broken. The single is broken in the plural. So that kind of Jama is called what? Jama Mukassar. So whenever there is a Jama Mukassar, plural, you can use one female for it. Like for example, there are a lot of books. Okay? So for the plural, ism ishara. Look, like for example, there is one female here. You understand? So what you say? Hadihi. Okay? And if there are two, so what you say? Hatani. And if there are more, you say haulai. So you can say haulai kutubun. Haulai kutubun. Plural, right? Haulai. Instead of that, you can say what? Hadihi kutubun. One female. Even if it is a male, but if the plural is what? It's such kind of plural that the single is broken in it. So you can use what? One female for it. आप समझिए? So the same thing is here. Look, Jabal, Jabal. So Amsal. Look, so Misal is the single. So the plural is not Misaluna. Is what? Amsal. So the single is broken. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Tilka. Tilka is used normally for one female. Okay? Amsalu nadribuha. We describe them linnasi for the people la'allahum so that they can yatafakkarun ponder. Bolo.
لو أنزلنا if we have revealed هذا القرآن this Quran على upon جبل a mountain لرأيته you would have seen it خاشعا humbled متصدعا burst open من from خشية الله fear of Allah وتلك and these al-amthalu are the examples نضربها that we نضربها that
we
describe them
okay. ضرب is also used for describing ضرب الله الأمثال okay
للناس for the human being لعلهم so that they يتفكرون ponder
right so now here
إخفاء
and here
واولين
say this
لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن
don't say Qur'an
قرآن
here
that's إدغام بلا غنة
so how would you say
جبل رأيته
جبل رأيته say
جبل رأيته
رأيته
جبل رأيته
and here
that's إخفاء
إدغام مع الغنة يمنو here again okay
إدغام مع الغنة
and here
إظهار
and here
lam would be a thin mouth because maqabal is maksur.
Okay, so read it from here. The whole thing.
خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله خشية الله تلا
نضربها بولو ايه بولو
نضربها
So look, you're not supposed to be doing qalqala and the duad, but so many times it happened. So I learned this rule from my son. He say they do a small pause in the duad, so it will be the best way. نضربها. आप समझ गए ना? Otherwise you might say نضربها. نضربها. Say
نضربها نضربها.
Here
نون مشدد غنة
للناس لعلهم يتفكرون سمجھ گئے okay so keep on adopting this Arabic accent little by little so that the Urdu accent will go away when you read the Quran سمجھ گئے نا لو أنزلنا بولو
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون.
وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله.